Um,
But fuck,
dude,
main event.
dude, yeah, let's go. Come on,
Come
T
on,
City versus El Pantera.
pretty hard.
Man, I just honestly, I'm hoping for. I heard Ortega say today like that he's hoping that this is another classic. I think it has. I think it's the writings on the wall for this one being an absolute banger. I think Yair Rodriguez. I used to I don't know why I had the. It was all the. It was the time off that and like the whole like Zabit hold up that had me thinking he was soft, but then he put on that performance against Max Holloway.
Yeah,
All his quotes are actually like really,
yeah,
really tough. Like this guy is actually a savage, and T City's a savage too, and now we've seen it from both of them. I think the interesting thing here is we saw Ortega um, give Volkanovski some issues, and we saw Yair Rodriguez give Max Holloway some issues. So we're really looking at like the next best two guys in this division here. But I'm not. I don't play into that too much. I'm just looking at this from a matchup perspective. I don't obviously I think that Yair is gonna have hit the advantage on the feet. He's such a creative striker. Like it's not just that he throws stuff that you haven't seen before. Like he actually lands these sort of strikes too. Like especially with like some of the angles that he gets on his elbows from like inside the clinch. Obviously, the Koreans knockout. You literally just don't know what he's going to throw at you. That being said, I think Brian Ortega's path to victory is a little bit more clear here. I think that's why he's the favorite. We've never seen Ortega get KO'd, and Brian Ortega is one of the most opportunistic fighters that we've ever seen in the octagon. Even during that beatdown against Max Holloway, he had a moment in the third round where he got to Max's back against the cage, and you were like, oh shit. Obviously, against Volkanovski, he had two really big moments where he looked like he was taking that belt home. And I just think over the course of 25 minutes here, he's gonna have an opportunity to grab Yair, snatch up the neck of Yair Rodriguez. And I going off, the Max fight, going off the Frankie Edgar fight. I don't love Yair Rodriguez on the ground. I think defensively, he's willing to put himself in a dangerous position to get back up to his feet. And I think he has to be way smarter against Ortega. I think a lot of the reason he had success against Max is because he was just spamming those leg kicks over and over and over and over again. And obviously his boxing is good as well to go with a guy like Max. You can't just rely on leg kicks, but those leg kicks, you know, I don't see Ortega, shooting a double leg and finishing it, but I do see him maybe catching a kick or Yair throwing something crazy and ending up on the ground, and that's where I see Ortega taking advantage and maybe getting that submission finish.
yeah. I mean, like you said, you're not caring about who these two guys are going into this fight. You're just looking at the matchup. And as the omniscient Joe Rogan says, styles make fights. And to be honest, I'm leaning towards Yair Rodriguez here with the stylistic matchup. Brian Ortega is a guy that likes to block punches with his face. He does not really. His striking has been improving a lot. We saw that against the Korean Zombie, which, I mean, after that he got pretty destroyed by Alexander Volkanovski. It was competitive at the beginning, but I haven't seen anyone best Yair Rodriguez on the feet, and that's including Max Holloway. So I have no reason to believe Brian Ortega is going to have success against Yair Rodriguez on the feet. And so Yair is the minute winner here. I think he's going to control this fight with his distance. He's going to kick Brian Ortega up. He knows Brian Ortega is only going to succeed in this fight at the boxing range. He's going to do his best to try to keep away from that boxing range because he knows that boxing range is only going to lead to clinching up and grappling, which he's not going to want in this fight. But like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Ortega does catch a kick and end up on the ground here, but and it seems like Brian Ortega's only way to win in this fight is catching a submission or maybe controlling Yair Rodriguez on the ground for a long period of this fight. But to be honest, if he catches a kick and takes Yair down, he's not. Brian Ortega is not like lay on top of you and control you type of grappler. Like he's gonna look for the finish and he's gonna give up position to do so. And he's gonna do that every time because he's only gonna look for the finish. And I like Yair Rodriguez's jiu-jitsu. He has a tendency to be controlled, like we said. But against Brian Ortega, a guy who's so submission over position, I don't think it's really gonna matter. I don't think it's really gonna matter that much. It might, but I think his jiu-jitsu is good enough to fight off the submissions from Brian Ortega and get back to his feet. And once it's there, I think he's gonna be able to control the distance with his kicks and kind of piece up Brian Ortega from the feet. And because Brian Ortega is so damn durable, I mean, Yair could land a shin to the chin and knock Brian Ortega out, but I don't see that being very likely just because of how fucking tough Brian Ortega is. But so I'm leaning Yair by decision, honestly. And right now, as of this very second, that's a pretty strong lean. So I don't know. It seems like we're going two different ways, Musty. What are you thinking here?
Well, let me just say, I didn't, the both of these guys have to reel in a little bit in the sense that I think, Yair should not attempt any flipping, spinning kicks that are going to end up with him on the ground. I think if Brian Ortega gets Yair Rodriguez on the ground, he should take his time. Because it's close and it it's just I think little things are gonna decide this fight because I do think there's a good chance that it just turns into a war, and if they do get real slippery, you know, Yair Rodriguez pulls out some magic, fights out of chokes, it could just turn into an absolute barn burner again, and in that situation, yeah, maybe it does favor Yair, but I don't know. I I'm under the impression here that Ortega, I think it'll be closer on the feet than you're making it out to be. Like in my opinion, Max Holloway outstruck Yair Rodriguez. Like I think Yair Rodriguez had his moments each round. I think he won the first round, and I think he probably won one more round in that fight. But I don't think it was just the grappling of Max Holloway. I think as that fight went on, Max Holloway was outlanding him significantly. I think if you look at the significant strikes in that fight, you'd be surprised at the numbers. But that being said, I'm confident in my pick here. I'm willing to lay multiple cases of Modelo's on this fight. If you want to get in a quick rebuttal to what I just said before we make the bet, but I'm ready to go here.
Yeah, I mean, you said that you were talking about Max Holloway's performance against Yair, and Max Holloway definitely looked cleaner on the feet at the beginning of the fight, but as the fight went on, I think it was for a very good reason that Max Holloway decided to switch his game plan up and become a Division One wrestler, which we hadn't seen from him in his entire career, including his championship run. So I think he did that for a very good reason. And even if it was close on the feet, look what Max Holloway did to Brian Ortega on the feet. I'm not going to say it's going to be a runaway on the feet. I do think Yair is going to be very patient because he knows he shouldn't grapple with this guy. But I think that's even more reason. Yair by decision, baby. Let's go. Run that shit.
And I knew you were gonna say this, and I have the numbers right here, Jay Keith. I have them right here for you. All right. So honestly, I really do think that Yair was beating that leg up and scoring most of his points based off that. And if you look at the numbers, Max Holloway, 129 strikes to the head versus 78 strikes to the head from Yair Rodriguez. Max Holloway, 66 strikes to the body versus 24 from Yair Rodriguez. Max Holloway, 35 leg strikes versus 57 from Yair Rodriguez. And if you break it down round by round, first round, they were dead even on significant strikes. If you break it down in the second round, Max Holloway 58, Yair Rodriguez 42. Max took him down one time in the third round. I'm pretty sure it's like he actually shot in, and Yair actually got a takedown of his own back in that round. And I'll give the striking numbers to Max. He got 18 more, but I think those were ground strikes. But if you look at round four, 43 of 77 for Max Holloway, 24 of 64 from Yair Rodriguez. That one takedown for Max Holloway was on a trip, I'm pretty sure. And then you go into round five, you got 53 of 94 strikes for Max Holloway versus 36 of 78. Definitely the closest we've seen on the feet, obviously besides Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. But we're not talking about the Ortega who fought Max Holloway. We're talking about the Ortega who fought the Korean Zombie and who fought Volkanovski. I think that this fight is closer, is pretty, like, I don't know. I think Brian Ortega will have his own moments on the feet in this strike. I think he's a creative striker in his own right.
I'm giving you the favor. I'm giving you the favor. You can take him. You don't gotta. You don't gotta. Like, you don't gotta make your play with me, dog. Like, you can have him.
I'm trying to save you here
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, mate. Like,
because I got
Brian Ortega, like you're really acting like that fight against Max Holloway was such a different fighter. Like, how many strikes did he absorb in that? He didn't get off the stool, Musty. He didn't get off the stool.
they stopped it. They stopped it. He ate
Yeah,
less strikes than Calvin Kattar.
yeah.
But
Okay.
listen,
What,
I'm willing to throw 10 cases here.
10 cases? That's pretty crazy. That's
I
crazy.
mean,
I'm not
I
throwing
mean
more.
we,
I mean, I'm a smart. I still recognize the nature of this sport. Okay, I'm not
this
throwing more than 5.
this man's sitting on his cases. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
He's like Izzy. He gets his lead and he coasts.
And I'll do whatever it takes to win. Okay, buddy.
At least he admits it. At least
This
he admits it.
this is week 3. We're building a lead and we're gonna keep it. Okay.
Five
Gonna
cases. 5 cases.
lock it in, baby.
Lock it in.
I'll even fucking take you Yair by decision. Fucking, you can win if he doesn't have that. No, I'm just kidding. But
Let's relax.
I'm honestly probably gonna bet that. Like, after this podcast, I've convinced myself.
Listen, I think that's all we got. We do have parlays of the week to go over this card. I think if you take a closer look at this card, I think they built it this way for a reason. I think they tried to make as exciting matchups as possible for their big, they only do this once a year, I'm pretty sure. Full card on ABC, so I'm expecting fireworks. I'm so excited to be there in person. I'm gonna be posting on the Instagram during
Oh,
the fights. Guys, let us know what you think. I'm telling you, you gotta follow the Instagram. It's actually, I messed it up at the beginning of the podcast. It's at the MMA Maniacs.
I think you said
That's
that.
the
I
at.
think you said that. Do you think you didn't say the because I remember you saying
Yeah, I don't know what I said, but if you're still here, you're still listening. The MMA Maniacs. We're building on that platform. Looking to get some good stuff up on there, and also just to talk takes. So the parlay of the week, real quick. I'm going. What am I going here? I'm going Dustin Stolfus plus 115, Muslim Salikov minus 175, Brian Ortega minus 165. I'm keeping it simple. Money line, money line, money line. Jake Heath is going to get screwed over by a prop, and I'm
yeah.
going to take home 10 cases in
I mean,
peace.
it hasn't happened yet. I mean, Saeed by decision, my biggest wet bet last week. I mean, and not to pat myself on the back, but Yeah, keep that all day. Biggest bet of the week, and that was my plus number on the parlay. The only thing that didn't hit was fucking Jared Vanderar. You fucking, I don't even want to get into that fucking shit. My parlay of the week this week, Solikov by decision plus 170. I bet that already straight. I'll take that all day. That shit's hitting. Next leg, Shore versus Simone goes to decision minus 190. To be honest, that's a steal. This is going to be a grappling match. They're going to wrestle the whole time. They're both really good on the ground. No one's going to get submitted. I'll take that shit all day. And then lastly, money line Sumaderji minus 265. A little wide, but that's the only third leg I'm really confident in on this card, to be honest. Like, that's like those three, maybe Dustin Jacoby too. That's my dog of the week. I mean, I'm confident in those bets, and that's what I'm betting, and that's it. We got to be smart here, guys.
Always got to be smart because it's an every week thing, and
Yeah.
you want to be in the game every week. You know what I mean? Because eventually you're gonna cash.